Hello, I'm going to try to be brief today and just go over a few things about the equivalent version of my iLogs that we're going to be working with this week. In the week 14 folder, you're going to navigate to the week 14 tasks document. You're going to be asked to make a copy, which you'll do, and that will open up in a tab and in your browser. From that tab, you'll be able to actually navigate to the article itself. So it is a PDF document, and you'll be able to keep that open as you're working through the materials. I'm going to navigate back to the worksheet. Within the activity, it kind of gives you instructions for certain things that you need to do. And one of the things that it will ask you to do is go to the class version of the reflection document. That's created in Google Sheets, so that will also ask you to make a copy of it when you initially link to it, so you will do that. And then that opens a document that it has 3 sheets with it, and you are going to add information to each one of the sheets. So the first one is called Cognitive Process Dimensions. It aligns with that particular aspect of the My iLogs a resource, and what you're going to do here is initially type in each standard or skill that is addressed in the lesson that you taught or observed. So it's okay if it wraps around or cuts off part of it. If you don't need to use all 3 of the rows, that's fine. If you need more than that, you can insert cells. What you're going to do then is you're going to type in the number of minutes that the lesson actually the number of minutes involved in the lesson in each one of these 5 areas: attend, remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and creating. So for skill number 1, maybe you didn't do any attending, but you spent 10 minutes on understanding. And then maybe with the second skill, again, which will be typed in right here or standard, maybe you spent 20 minutes on this and 5 minutes on this. And I'm just throwing numbers around, but the idea is that you're going to have a combination of numbers and zeros in these cells, and the sum that you get right here should reflect the total number of minutes for the lesson. So the values should update automatically as you enter the number of minutes in here, and this is going to be somewhat of an approximation because I don't expect that you will remember exactly how many minutes you spent on each element within your lesson. I do have a definition of attend, remember, and so on. These are from Bloom's taxonomy, so that you can kind of help think about what aspects of your lesson actually align with each one of those words. Then you'll move to the Digital Instructional Strategies tab, and in this particular tab, or in this particular sheet, there are going to be a couple things that you will manipulate. First, these strategies are aligned with the digital instructional strategies that are outlined in this document. And if you can excuse my navigating a little bit, this is basically the screenshot of my iLogs. So I've replicated as closely as I could in Sheets, Google Sheets. So it's not quite exact, but it'll give you the idea. And the strategies that are listed here also align with kind of general definitions and more specific tactics aligned with each one in Table 2. So if you need to go back and reflect on and understand any of these items listed here, then you can do that by referring back to the article. So kind of like the Cognitive Process Dimensions tab, you're expected to type in values for minutes in each of the areas that were addressed in the lesson. So again, it will be an estimate. There will be zeros because you're not likely to address everything in there. And then the total time down here should automatically change as you enter the number of minutes. Then up here in the instructional emphasis area, you're going to put an X in either the no, minimum, medium, or maximum for every single row. So if it has a 0, you're going to put an X under no. And if it has a value other than 0, you're going to provide an interpretation of how much emphasis there is in that particular lesson. So was developing digital citizenship and responsible use minimally emphasized in a medium way, or was that the biggest focus of the lesson? So maybe I say this was the biggest, and maybe I say that this was medium, and this was medium. So you're just going to go through, there's going to be X's, 1 per row under instructional emphasis. And then you're also going to do something similar with regard to role in learning. So again, if there's 0, you would put an X in the column or in the cell in that particular row. And then you choose either supplemental, central to learning, or essential for learning. So again, you're going to put X's where appropriate within this particular section. Lastly, time allocation across instructional practices. You are going to make a determination about whether these actions were individual, small group, whole class. Again, the sums will change as needed. There will be some of these lines that don't have any values at all, but maybe you asked individuals questions for 3 minutes. Maybe you did whole class independent practice for 15 minutes, and so on. So you're just going to fill in the values based on whether you've got individual, small group, or whole class kind of instruction aligned with each of these actions over here on the left. After you complete all 3 of the sheets, you're going to come up here to share. You'll get a shareable link, which will be a link that takes anybody with access to it to all 3 of the sheets. So you only have to basically do one copy and paste, and you will paste that into this spot on the worksheet within Google Docs. So I'll be able to click on that and access the 3 sheets that are part of the replica of the My iLogs document. The document also requires that you submit some other information. So where it says right here, you will do that. Type response here, you'll do that into these 2 areas as well. The activity is designed to do some of the same things that the teachers who are participating in the study had to do, which was to reflect on their teaching practices, specifically when technology was involved. So you will see also, in addition to having you reflect on your own practices, that it will ask you to compare what you analyzed about your own instruction, or if you observed another teacher, what you observed. And so after the reflection, you will share this with me. You'll get a shareable link, and that's the link that you're going to paste in the submission area in Blackboard. So just one other thing, there is a scoring guideline with regard to how your responses here are going to be evaluated. There is one point for actually watching the video. Hopefully you find that helpful and will lead to successful completion of the activity, and perhaps even more importantly, the reflection and analysis of your own or somebody else's teaching practices. Have a great day.